everybody, I'm back. Got another bone to pick. It's pretty much the same bone. I'm just going to try to articulate this in a way that's not equating the candidates to food and using vulgarities, because apparently that offended people. So, here I go. Now, I'm going to preface this video by stating this is for progressives. This is for people who do not want Trump in office. So if you want Trump in office, or if you're a Republican and you're going to vote for Trump, stop watching this video now. You will be offended. All right? I'll give you 3 seconds to stop watching. Okay, you should be gone. Moving on. The rest of you who've stayed, here's my thing. All right? Now, you can go on and on about how much you don't like Hillary Clinton, but let's face the facts. The Electoral College system is not set up to take in write-in candidates unless you have 55% of each state's population writing in the exact same person, which would never happen. Statistically, historically, it's never happened. But if you had them either writing in a candidate or 55% picking the same third-party candidate, then it's not going to work, all right? Let me first give you an example, okay? I have all these wonderful brushes I bought today, which I'm going to use as an example, okay? Actually, let's add another one to this. Okay, so now we have 7. So these 4, they don't want Trump in office. They don't. They realize he's the worst, absolute worst, okay? These 3, for some reason, want Trump in office. Okay? I don't know what their reasons are. I'm not going to judge them. So, this is what we've got. Now, if these 4 all vote for Hillary, statistically 4-3, that means Hillary gets the vote for that state, and that means she gets all the votes for that state. Now, this is what happens, okay? You've got, these are the ones who don't want Trump. This one decides, you know what? No, I'm voting for Bernie, and I'm going to get all my friends to vote for Bernie. Now it's a statistical tie. That means what you can have is what happened in the 2000 election with Florida, where Al Gore lost votes because of the third-party person, causing a recount, causing Bush to win Florida. All right? Now, say that we do get a lot, okay? Oh, look, 3 people wrote in Bernie Sanders. Now we've only got 1 for Hillary Clinton, and we have 3 for Trump. But you say, oh, wait, Bernie Sanders, he got 3. Even if they'd let that pass, but let's face it, if you're worried about voter fraud in the primary election, do you really think there won't be any in the general election? But let's say it's a magical world, and they'll let that pass, okay? Now we're back to the same thing that happened in 2000 with Al Gore and Bush. Just this time, for some reason, it's magically the third-party writing candidate, all right? They do a recount, something happens, Trump gets the election. But Sarah, that was obviously only the case in the 2000 election, and besides, that was Al Gore losing to a third-party candidate. The third-party candidates this time, Stein and Johnson, only have 2-3% of the vote last poll, and besides, what other examples do you have? This is completely different. Bernie Sanders actually has a following, and despite the primary, more people wanted him than they want Hillary Clinton. Thank you, hypothetical person that I just played. That's a good point. Oh, wait, except you're wrong. 1912. Teddy Roosevelt comes on the scene. Teddy Roosevelt promised after he won his first election in the early 1900s that he was not going to run for a second term, even though he was allowed one since he only had a partial term after McKinley was assassinated. But then he decided after the first 4 years of Taft, you know what? I think I am going to run, and I'm going to run in the primary. So, off he marched, and he did his primary, and the same thing that happened with Bernie and Clinton happened, where while he did have a lot of support, he did not win the primary. He did not get the delegates needed in order to win the nomination. So, what happened? All of his followers split off into the Bull Moose Party, and you know what it did? You had all these people all these people who were voting, these ones supported Wilson. These ones didn't want Wilson. But these ones went to the Bull Moose Party. Wilson wins. Historically, it's happened before. Historically, third-party voting does not work. Now, if you want to change this, please don't do it in a year when Donald Trump is the one to be elected president. Let me explain. In the history of the United States of America, we have never had such a disparity between who is qualified and who is not qualified for the job. Hillary Clinton, 30-ish years of civil service, public service, holding offices, senator, she was Secretary of State, you name it. She's been in the Oval Office as First Lady. I mean, she knows this is not her first rodeo. This is not her first rodeo. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to do the job. She has the calm, she has the demeanor, she has the education, she has the experience. She has everything. You may not personally like her, but let's compare her to Trump. Trump is a celebrity. Trump has never held a civil position. He's never held a public position. He ran for president with the Progressive Party in 2000. Other than that, he has no political experience besides endorsing people. By the way, side note, he even endorsed Hillary Clinton at one point. I digress. We have never not only had somebody who wasn't as qualified for the job as we have Trump, especially not going against someone as qualified as Clinton. It's a no-brainer. Who do you want in office? Do you want someone who's done civil service for 30 plus years, who knows the job, who's qualified, who has the demeanor, who has the composure, who's not going to slam the giant red button the first time a country makes them mad? Or are you going to go for the one who will? The one who has no experience, the one who's sexist, misogynistic, racist, xenophobic, who wants to put a damper on all the progressive policies that have gone on? Do you want him as our president? Because I certainly don't. And yes, it would have been nice if we could officially have Bernie Sanders on the ballot. It would be nice if he was the Democratic candidate. And in a perfect world, maybe in 4 years he'll give it another shot and he'll get the nomination. You never know what'll happen. I mean, Hillary may only be a one-term president. We don't know. But I'd rather deal with 4 years of somebody who's qualified for the position, who's progressive in mind, who's taking Bernie Sanders' ideas to heart and putting it in her own policy, as we saw today in her speech in Michigan. I'd rather have her than somebody who will destroy this country. Somebody who boys and girls will look at and wonder if the stuff he's saying is okay, because why wouldn't it be if the president's saying it? I mean, obviously sexual assault on women is okay if the president said it. Obviously, this hate and bigotry is okay because our president is saying it. I don't want that. And I'd rather look back 50 years from now at this campaign being a joke, the same way we now look at the Goldwater-Johnson campaign, than look back at this and say, what did we do wrong? And if you agree with me, then you won't vote third party. You won't write in Bernie Sanders or Rand Paul or Mickey Mouse or whatever. You won't throw away your vote. You will vote for Hillary Clinton. Because I can see a future with her. There is none with Trump.